The baseball diamond, often reserved for the lush green of spring and the harsh heat of summer, occasionally transforms into a true winter wonderland.
These are the moments when Mother Nature throws a curveball, replacing the sunshine with flurries, creating some of the most memorable and often comedic scenes in Major League Baseball history. We begin with the chaos of an early season game, where the forecast went horribly wrong. Amidst a blizzard of white, whether it was confetti from opening day festivities or true snow, the distinction was blurred. Miguel Cabrera launched a deep shot. The ball disappeared into the thick white veil, a massive blast for his 350th home run as a Tiger.
It was pure whiteout conditions, where fielders like Mickey Tettleton couldn't even track the trajectory, sliding into second base almost blind.
But who says cold weather kills offense? Enter Nolan Arenado, the Orange County kid, proving that elements are merely suggestions. The opposing pitcher tried to sneak a cutter underneath Nolan's hands, but Arenado barreled it up, clocking a 2-run homer to deep left center field. The ball flew true, untouched by the swirling white flakes. Home run number 10 for Arenado, giving him the perfect nickname for the day, Snownado. He may not have loved the cold moments before, but in that instant, surrounded by the beautiful, chaotic sight of the game turning into a giant snow globe, he loved every frigid second of it. As the weather dipped, the fashion statements followed. Take a look at Jose Ramirez, rocking socks that prioritized warmth over style, a stark reminder that even MLB stars sometimes need to surrender to practicality.
Here, comfort, not couture, was the number one concern.
The snow, however, quickly transitioned from beautiful to dangerous. After Gary Sheffield hit a massive shot into the right field seats, a resounding goodbye to the baseball, the visibility rapidly deteriorated.
Balls were getting lost in the air. We saw Jay Gibbons struggle immensely, completely unable to track a fly ball hit by Ellis Burks. Gibbons là pleading for help immediately, but the dense snowfall made the ball simply vanish against the backdrop. It was a clear demonstration that baseball simply cannot be played safely when the ball is invisible.
This led to the inevitable. Managers, like Mike Hargrove, had to appeal to the umpires, arguing that the conditions were unplayable, forcing a stoppage and the players off the field. Shifting gears to a different kind of history, we arrive at the most iconic snow game of all time, the inaugural Major League Baseball game in Toronto. Opening day, April 7th, 1977. It was supposed to signal the arrival of spring, but instead, 45,000 fans at Exhibition Stadium bore witness to the birth of the Blue Jays amidst a veritable snowstorm. Nothing, not even a whole bushel basket full of snow, could stop that historic debut. The Chicago White Sox were there, prepared to play ball, with some even using shin guards as improvised snowshoes. Doug Ault stepped up to the plate, 2 outs in the bottom of the first, and drove a hard-hit ball into the power alley in left center field. Home run, the first ever homer in Blue Jays history, defying the blizzard. And with that blow, the Blue Jays were rolling. Ault hit another homer in his next at-bat, and Toronto went on to have a field day at the plate, seizing the moment that the snow had tried so desperately to steal. Decades later, in the Bronx, Joe Torre clinched his first win as Yankees manager. The field, blanketed in white, showcased Tino Martinez's sparkling defensive play and Derek Jeter picking up an early hit. The fans, though freezing, were treated to a look at the new Yankees' approach under Torre. But perhaps the most enduring image of that day was not the win, but the reaction of the players. Many, particularly those from tropical and warm weather climates, had never seen snow fall during a game. Mariano Duncan, who had a solid day at the plate, joined his cold but happy teammates heading toward the dugout.
They treated the event as a pure novelty, pulling out modern technology, their phones, to take pictures and record the rare spectacle of professional baseball played in a blanket of white. Even the eternally smiling Ray Mendoza and Salvi were pumped, finding the silver lining in the frigid conditions. This resiliency is best exemplified by the grounds crews. Out in Denver, the Colorado Rockies organization woke up to feet of fresh powder.
Mark Graham và các crew were out early that morning, shoveling over 4 feet of snow. The transformation was truly remarkable.
Despite widespread doubt on social media that the game against the Dodgers could possibly be played, the Rockies were ready to go. The dedication of the crew meant that Coors Field was playable, even if the temperature barely reached 37 degrees.
Zephyr, tốc độ follow bình thường. In Chicago, players bundled up in full winter gear, defying the low 40s degree temperature.
The rule of thumb holds true. If white stuff is flying, the temperature is right around freezing. Interleague play often forces these battles against the elements, and the show must go on.
The frigid air was palpable, making fastballs feel heavy and curveballs bite harder, if the pitcher could even feel his fingertips. Yet the game continued, sometimes with a touch of the absurd.
A huge pop-up sailed high, and the fielder, Smelly, couldn't find it. Fortunately, a teammate tracked it down.
Zephyr. Even the head groundskeeper, Roger Bossert, reassured everyone that while the flurries were arriving earlier than expected, the turf temperature was holding steady at 43 degrees, warm enough that the snow wouldn't stick, allowing the game to proceed.
It's a peculiar sight. Major League Baseball played in a winter wonderland. For many veterans, having spent time in domes or warm climates like San Francisco, Texas, or Atlanta, playing in the snow was unheard of. But for those who endure it, the snow becomes a unique chapter in the baseball season, demanding resilience, humor, and a little bit of fashion sacrifice.
Whether it's dodging a lost fly ball or digging out a stadium overnight, these snowy scenes prove that the love of the game is truly powerful enough to melt any amount of ice.